so little left for you and me.
All right.
But it's clear to see. Too much, too little, too late to try again with you. This is how Johnny Mathis announced "It Is Finished" in his 1978 #1 Billboard hit, "Too Much, Too Little, Too Late."
I know that's right.
Our Lord and Savior pronouncing the end of his work in human form was not done in song. John 19:30 reads, "So when Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, 'It is finished.' And bowing his head, he gave up his spirit." I want to speak to you for just a few minutes about the brevity and complexity of it.
All right.
It is finished. This statement seems so simple. Even though "it is finished" has just 3 words, 4 syllables, 8 phonemes, 10 morphemes, eternity resides within it. It includes the final return of his people who had been lost since the days of Adam and Eve.
Okay.
It includes the promise that the divided kingdom, both north and south, would be joined under one government. It includes the work of the cross, on which the sins of the world would be taken on by a single substitutionary sacrifice. In his book, The Cross and the Lynching Tree, the biblical scholar James H. Cone described the work on the cross as a great symbol of the Christian narrative of salvation. He says that the cross should not be transformed or reduced to a harmless, non-offensive token that we simply wear around our necks. Instead, it ought to remind us each and every day of the cost of discipleship.
Yes.
Jesus' word, "It is finished," was offered in God's recognition that the Father was not slack to usward, as he says in 2 Peter, but that he is long-suffering, that we all might come to salvation. As a matter of fact, God was long-suffering through 42 generations, from Abraham and Sarah to Judah and Tamar, cataloged in the 38th chapter of Genesis, to Solomon and Naamah, identified in 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles, all the way to Mary and Joseph, who were described in Matthew, Mark, and Luke as the earthly parents of Jesus. You must understand, to pronounce "it is finished" was not an ordinary statement, but it was profound, that seemed so small, but encompassed so much. This statement emphasizes the preordained work of God through his Son, Jesus, soon to be the Christ. You see, this context of the final saying is multifaceted, so let me run it down for you. So, as like my students say, you don't get it twisted. Let me give you some of the context. So we're going to run through the who, what, when, where, and why.
All right.
Who? Jesus, the Son of God, born in a manger of an unearthly mother, sought after, renowned, fully human, yet fully divine, Messiah, King, and Savior.
Amen.
What? He finally said it. He said, "It is finished."
Okay.
He hung his head and he died. When? During the Jewish Passover season at approximately 35 years old, some 1,980 years ago, after having been unjustly accused, after Pilate nor Herod found any fault in him, after being sentenced to die anyway, after he was whipped and beaten, after a crown of thorns was placed on his head, after being dressed in purple, marched through the city, being mounted to a cross with nails in his hand, after believers taunted him, soldiers gambled for his clothes, after assigning a caregiver.
Go ahead.
After asking for forgiveness for those who were in the process of lynching him, after begging for increased wisdom from God, after refusing any his pain in the last seconds of his life. He said,
It is finished.
it is finished.
Go ahead.
Wait, where did all of this happen?
Yes.
This complex situation on the outskirts of Jerusalem, the holy city of the Jews, 5,095 miles due east of Fort Washington, Maryland. The first and second temples were built and then destroyed, where the third temple was about to be destroyed and built up in 3 days, where Jewish people longed to be during Passover in a city that had swelled by the thousands, in a Roman outpost controlled by, as the poet Margaret Walker once put it, money-hungry, glory-craving leeches, where people were preyed on by facile force of state and fad and novelty. Where, in front of his mother, on a hill, where anyone who might be thinking about creating a clash of cultures will think otherwise.
Okay.
Why? My advanced composition teacher, Dr. Gloria Gade Wales at Spelman College, once told me there's only one answer to why, and that's because. Because Jesus acted against the law, doing good on the Sabbath. Because people said he was the king of the Jews. Because he would not defend himself against Pilate. Because the people preferred the murderous Barabbas instead of the loving.
Yes, they did.
Jesus.
Yes, they did.
Because the Sadducees feared losing importance. Because the Pharisees feared a loss of control. Because the Romans feared Jesus just might be a political plan. And because God had already ordained it.